used to wet myself at school, actually. I would literally wet myself at school.
Oh, from laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
did that a lot
Fandango
too. We'd have
first.
got on very well.
We would have got on well, hiding our wetness. Sure. One, I would rather live with her than a wolf.
Did you say wolf?
Yeah.
Wow. We see Ivy Rose and Theo Rose, who've been married for a while. They've got 2 children, and they are in couples therapy.
I played Theo Rose, who's an architect, and I did a little bit of drawing and had some fun with that, and I did a lot of learning of a brilliant script, and then just turned up and had a blast. It's a really wonderful piece of writing that kind of acts itself. And we had a wonderful director in Jay, a supremely talented supporting cast, and I had the best tennis partner you could possibly want to play tennis with.
I would like to say everything that Ben just said about easy to play the part, because I was playing the part opposite him. And I was excited to go to work every day. We held hands, we went, off we go, wee! And we sort of went in, had a ball, and then poor Jay had to try and...
Wrestle our attention to work.
Yes. One, he has arms. Well, I saw a documentary once about a man without arms, and it looked like a difficult life, particularly for the partner, so I like that he has arms.
Yeah, it's fair.
I love watching Ben in that scene, watching it. Being very sweet and polite and accepting quite a lot of it.
Yeah, it's
really
fair. Well,
yeah,
being with someone who's got no arms, that's fair. It would be difficult.
Point, yeah.
He's very reasonable, Theo. That's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I often like when the audience has to choose where to look instead of sort of feeding them, shot, reverse shot. And in particular here, because the tone isn't clear that early in the story, I wanted the audience to wonder, are they really hating each other? How can they get away with this? And so watching the person who's not speaking gave you both clues and permission in some cases, but also made it more awkward in other cases. And so to just let it play in the wider shot with these 2 performers, it was pure joy for me to leave it in that shot.
2, the shape of her head is somewhat pleasing at a distance. 3, I have memories of her being witty. 4, she smells pleasant on occasion. Actually, struggle to write any more.
It's a tonally challenging film to get right because it has such a range of emotion and drama and high stakes and suspense, but it also wanted to be very funny. And I always say that tone is casting and casting is tone. And when I read this amazing script and Tony had reimagined the entire film, but to picture Olivia and Benedict and the characters completely brought it to life instantly, and I said right away, let's do it.
2, his breath smells like an anchovy that's been on the piss all night. 3, the way he laughs is like a diseased dog's death rattle. 4, he's a bad father. A lover, a complete dead shit, a victim, a loser, a wanker. Number 10, Theo, what a
Theo was I mean, I think every single time I heard that in the read-through...
That's a real laugh. He wasn't faking that laugh.
Who knows? Maybe by the 30th take I was a bit, but I don't know what take that was because genuinely it was.
We never did 30 takes,
funny, didn't we?
No.
I think with that one. But you held that in a 2-shot for a long time. Yeah. We did quite a few for us. In that we did quite a few. But you're right. It wasn't. It was a lot. It was correct. Yeah. But still, it was very funny all the time.
The thing that I loved about the relationship that, as Tony designed it, was that they have a language that is very honest and blunt and sometimes profane and even seems mean once in a while, but you discover as that scene goes along that, oh, that's how they talk and they trust each other so much they can pretty much say anything. And you see it from the therapist's point of view, who is not sure what is going on, but doesn't get it. And the fact that they get each other is what made that scene work, and why we started the movie with that scene to let you know, oh, this is the central question: is how are these crazy people going to be able to keep their relationship together?
That wasn't the task. Those are things you hate. It's not funny.
That's actually quite funny.
I see so much resentment And defensiveness, an inability to apologize, to share your vulnerability.
Oh, in his defence, he is a whiny baby, so that's vulnerability, isn't it?
The sort of panacea to any conflicts in any relationship is laughter. And I think the fact that they find that in amongst this sort of vitriolic, really hard-hitting list ending in Theo, what a I'll say it again. You know, you can't help but like them for that, that even in their most irritable moments of animosity, at that point in the film, they're still finding each other funny.
Verbal cruelty.
In England, we call that repartee.
Self-righteousness, mockery, and inability to admit wrongs. I don't think you have the capacity to fix your problems.
And then I feel sorry for the therapist by the end, because they're completely,
yeah.
they need no healing in that moment. They've kind of come together again. So I think that's why she says she can't help them, but...
I think she has to go to therapy after that scene.
She's definitely supervising after that one.
The first read-through was on Zoom, and Ben and I were texting each other just as Andy Samberg, Kate McKinnon, Zoe Chow, all these people just kept appearing at us, and we were going, holy shit, to each other.
Yeah.
Oh God, gulp. You know, we're going to have to bring our A game.
And it just always just kept coming.
One
It's
of
a
my
joy.
favorite scenes was the dinner scene where they're all trapped together around the table. And that's not just the characters trapped, the actors are stuck with each other too. So there were some wild cards, you know, Kate will throw some stuff at you, you know, and watching how they had to stay in character. They're all, you know, we have cameras shooting every which way. And the tension in the scene is, you know, the Americans do envy the love language that Theo and Ivy have, and they try to imitate it, and how bad is that gonna go? But it was it was really fun to watch the actors try to stay in character. I often love those takes that happen right after you go, no, stay in it, because they've just broken up and made each other laugh in the middle of a scene, and then the next thing is like, are they gonna get it back together? And there's a subtle tension that I think audiences appreciate about that kind of
It's like that, you know, when you're at school and you mustn't laugh. It's like that. Or assembly when...
Or a funeral. Let's go there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that can happen. And then it's really bad. But yeah, around that table, Kate would be about to do... I used to wet myself at school, actually. I would literally wet myself at
from
school.
laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
did that a lot
Fandango
too. We'd have
first.
got on very well.
We would have gotten well, hiding our wetness. So visual.
I love it.
What I was going to say about Kate is that, for me, the thing that set me off, I've said this so many times, it's boring.
I love it, it's not.
Her level of invention is extraordinary, as is Andy's, as is everyone's on this shoot. I mean, you know, Zoe and also Jamie, who I find pretty naturally funny anyway in everything he does. But also Kate at the dinner would start on a new one, and she would see it coming, and she couldn't hold it together. So to watch Kate McKinnon laughing at what was coming in her own material that she was just testing out for the first time meant that we were completely uncontrollable.
We are done.
I say when we're done.
I just want the house. I built it.
Oh, you're not having the house.
I think people are going to turn to each other, their partners, and go, wow, we should talk a lot more. You know, that it's a cautionary tale. It's very fun. It's such a good ride. But it is sort of heartbreaking sometimes too. And to see that it affects people that way it's really rewarding.
I think, you know, before shit goes down, it's just very important to realize that the nuances in relationship are absolutely key, and you can miss or gain so much by that. And that's really about paying attention to one another.
Are you actually allowed to say that?
That seems unprofessional.
Yes, like malpractice.
We'll be expecting a hefty discount.